I'd like to take this time to recognize our great production crew. They came all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. You might have heard of them, TNA Productions. I'm kidding. They couldn't afford the gas to get here. Moving on. Our next roaster. I mean, when you think of amateur wrestling from the state of Minnesota, you think probably in your head, you think Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate. You think of maybe the legendary wrestling coach there, Jay Robinson. But those that are in the know, those that really know the truth. And our next guest is the man that Jay Robinson himself said was the greatest natural athlete he ever coached. It's also the man that helped train Brock Lesnar and spanked Brock Lesnar on the wrestling mats practically every single day. Originally from South Carolina, he now makes Houston, Texas his home. Please welcome Mr. Shelton Benjamin.
So I'm hoping this don't backfire on me. So before we get started, I just want to make one thing clear. This was very last minute for me. And by last minute, I mean about 3 hours ago. You see, Booker called me, 4 weeks ago, and he said, hey, Shelton, I'm going to have a roast. You want to come down? And I'm thinking, sure. I'd love to come down, support you, and have fun, whatever. And he never gave me the information on where it was or anything. So then, wait a minute. This suit's tight as hell. So basically, I had to go to the brains of Operation Sharmell to find out when and where, and that's when I get the news that not only are you attending, but it's a black tie affair, and I'm the only motherfucker wearing a tie in here. And secondly, you're going to be roasting Booker. And, okay, for me, I got to be honest. What can I roast Booker on? Because for me, Booker's a real-life hero. Because my story is very similar to his, minus the jail time. I was a poor black kid. I found pro wrestling, and it worked for me. So, with that in mind, when I think of Booker T, I think of Harlem Heat. I think of G.I. Bro. Right now, I'm thinking about the fact that I feel like Booker T at a DX meeting. But for me, Booker was a hero because before Booker T, there was Ron Simmons. That was the first world champion I'd ever seen. And I will go on record as just saying Ron did it first, but Booker has done it best. But with that in mind, with all the world champions, I think there was five times. I'm sure we've heard that enough. With that in mind, I got to wonder, with all that money and everything that Booker has accomplished, why he insists on having Stevie Ray go and pick up his socks. Yeah, pull them up. They need crutches. So we've been talking about wrestling a lot, and I actually have to tell a story. It's a true story, and it concerns Man of Honor Booker, our Man of Honor Booker. As you can tell, I'm not used to speaking. I'm not used to speaking in public very often. And I'm sure MVP is going to make me regret every moment that I've been up here later. But back to my story. A lot of people always wonder, as professional wrestlers, because we literally beat the hell out of each other all the time, do you really hate this guy? Or do you really get along with this guy? Well, there was a real life feud between, we'll say, Booker and one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, and basically, I was there, but I don't know what started it. I'm sure there were a few things, but what it boils down to, Booker taught me one thing that day. During this altercation, where Booker, who with his trusty giant ring on his finger, commenced to beating up one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah, we'll go with that. So Booker's actually beating the hell out of this person. And, the boys gather around, everything's going crazy, and they pull him apart. And while they were pulling him apart, this person actually takes a sucker punch at Booker while he's being held. Now, this is where the lesson comes in. Because it was that day that Booker taught me that behind every great man is a great woman. Because when Booker T got sucker punched, Sharmell kicked up her heels and she beat the shit out of Batista. So, in closing, I would like to say, first of all, thank you for having me. And Booker, on a very serious note, I mean, you've been an inspiration for me, and I think for black talent, period, because you've set the bar so high in this industry that, I mean, it's really, at this point, it's hard to top. So I just want to say thank you. You're an inspiration, you're a mentor, you're a leader, you're the fucking man, and I love you.